are back in the Stone Creek kitchen with Chef Aaron May of Praying Monk and Over Easy. And Chef, you have a big egg challenge going on. Tell us about it.
We do, you know. So at Over Easy, which I started with my dad a couple years ago, Brad, and we have like a great little partnership with Hickman Eggs, local company we buy all our eggs from. We serve a ton of eggs at Over Easy, I'm sure you can imagine.
Right.
And we run a contest to see how do you guys like your eggs, right? Like, I don't know how you cook eggs. Breakfast is something that's always super personal to people.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my mom used to make me eggs this way, or like, I like to make eggs this way, right? People have like this connection. So we decided we were gonna run a contest called the Broken Egg Contest. And we asked people to submit recipes to us with their favorite egg recipes, right?
I love that.
Is it an omelet? Is it a quiche? Is it a tart? Is it souffle? Is it, you know, whatever the case may be. So last year the winner was a guy named Gary who has his Croatian spinach loaf on the menu now at Over Easy for the last year.
Congrats, Gary.
Yeah,
That's
Gary,
awesome.
good job. It's very delicious. And the contest starts again. It starts in September. You can go online to apply, eatatovereasy.com, or you can go to any of the great Over Easys, North Scottsdale, Arcadia, Gilbert, Mesa, whatever the case may be. And this is kind of an example of the kind of stuff we're looking for, right? This is one of my favorite egg dishes.
Okay, this is
it's
your
not
dish?
on the menu though.
Is it your dish?
It is my dish, and it's one of my favorite things, but it's not on the menu there because it's not really, you know, part of the Over Easy repertoire, but I make this all the time and I love it.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a Mediterranean or Italian take on quiche, right? So instead of having like that nice pastry crust that you get with a quiche, we're gonna use pasta to be our starch, right?
And I have to admit, when I saw this, I said, wait a minute, I thought we were doing breakfast.
Right?
And you said we are doing breakfast,
Right?
just with pasta.
This is super easy. If you have like leftover macaroni, spaghetti, rigatoni, whatever you got left over you could use, right? So this is a great, like maybe you make dinner on Friday night and you have a little spaghetti or pasta, and then Saturday morning brunch, this is like a perfect thing to do, right? You break out a bottle of champagne, start making brunch. So I've got a pan that I coated with a liberal amount of olive oil there, right? We don't want it to stick, and a lot of that's gonna pour off. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add my noodles, right? This is not very precise. This is not like exact measurements here, which is why it's more fun than making pastry dough anyways, right? Because that's like so precise.
You know, it's really funny.
You gotta get all dirty and...
Right, and you always hear the joke, you know, you can't even make eggs, but eggs can be tough.
Eggs can be tough. You know, when you see a chef wearing those tall white hats, they call them toques, they say that every fold on that hat is for a way to cook eggs. So there's 101 folds, there's 101 ways to cook eggs, and you don't get to wear the tall hat until you can master all
of those. Okay.
So I've got some roasted peppers here. You know, these are right out of a jar. Again, no big deal. This is like perfect, like hangover brunch maybe recipe, right? You don't want to work too hard.
Don't want to think about it.
Right.
But you
So
want some good
I've got my pasta.
Okay.
I've got my roasted peppers. I'm just going to get in there with my hands and kind of mix it up. I've got salt and pepper. I'm going to season it all up nicely, just like everything else. And I've got some eggs. So I've got like an 8-inch skillet here. I've got my pasta, I've got my peppers, and I've got about 8 eggs here, right? Not bad if you're sharing it with like 4 people maybe, right? So I've got my eggs. I'm just gonna pour that over the top.
This really is a 1 skillet meal.
Super easy, right?
Yeah.
Super easy, no problem at all. So I've got my eggs. I'm gonna pour that over the top, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this in the oven, right? Just pop it right in the oven and let it bake.
Okay. And so just, I mean, 3 ingredients.
Yep.
The eggs, the pasta, and how long do we bake it?
Like 30 seconds.
30 seconds?
No, I'm just kidding. I made this one earlier. I made this one earlier.
I was like, what are you talking about?
You know, you're gonna let it bake for like 20 minutes.
Okay, 20 minutes.
20 minutes, 30 minutes. 350, convection.
Oh, that looks great.
And just let it go. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make just a little topping for it, right?
Okay.
So I've got some pesto here. I know that everybody keeps pesto in their refrigerator, right?
Sure.
Just like I do.
Sure we do,
so,
chef.
So I've got some pesto here, pine nuts, Parmesan, basil, marjoram, oregano, and I made aioli. So I made aioli with roasted garlic and some sriracha. Give it a little bit of spiciness, right?
Nice little kick.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and add my sriracha and garlic aioli to my pesto, and I'm just gonna make like a little topping here for my pasta and egg tort, right? So I've got that. I'm just gonna give this a nice little stir. See, it's gonna give it like that kind of creaminess. It doesn't make it like, you know, I know a lot of people don't like the mayonnaise, especially in the morning. So this isn't gonna give it like that mayonnaise-y aioli kind of feel, but it's gonna give it just like a nice little bit of creaminess,
Nice
right?
thickness, yeah, looks good.
So I've got a plate here. So, you know, we popped this in the oven about 20 minutes at 350 convection. I'm just gonna go ahead, you can see in the middle there, the eggs are barely set up, right? I'm gonna go ahead and just cut a piece of this.
How do you like your eggs? What's your favorite?
You know, I like basted eggs, I love poached eggs.
Okay.
I like that nice runny middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take a piece right out of here.
I like my eggs over hard, so I could keep it in longer if I wanted to.
Yeah, so you see how nice and like it almost looks just like a quiche, right?
I was about to say, it really does.
You can see the way the eggs and the filling ran into the noodles there.
It almost looks like you have a crust on there, but I know you don't.
Right, exactly. So then I'm just gonna take this pesto topping that I made, and I'm just gonna go right over the top there.
Wow.
And I've got some really nice, last thing, these are radish sprouts.
Radish sprouts.
Yeah, that's gonna give it just a nice little peppery bite. Nice, keep it nice and light and summery.
Wow, look at that.
And I even have a fork for you this time.
Thank you, thank you. No worries. I'm trying to get a little bit of all of it. I'm gonna eat from the back because again, I like my eggs a little more set, but this looks phenomenal.
So
oh
this
my
is
goodness,
great. You can totally make this at home. Or, you know, this is the kind of stuff we're looking for the Broken Egg Contest at Over Easy, right? What's your favorite way to prepare eggs? Share it with us. And if you win, it goes on the menu for a year. And you get a dozen eggs for free from Hickman's every single week for a year.
There you go. You get your favorite recipe
on the menu. A little bit of fame, a little bit of free eggs. Isn't that delicious?
This, I want the recipe for.
You can have it.
That sauce. That's fantastic.
I'll bring over a couple jars.
Okay, what are we cooking next? Very quick.
Next, we're making romaine taco wraps.
Love that, love that. We put all the information about the Broken Egg Challenge and the recipe on SonoraLiving.com. And Chef, we are going to be healthy in our next segment.
For sure.
Okay? All righty.